These are the people whose fate was bartered by European and Turkish leaders, trying to clean up and recover from a night spent in the bitter cold and pouring rains. The Ali family's kids are all sick, vomiting, their parents say. We tried to stack the blankets on the floor, but it didn't work, Ziad tells us. We don't know what is going to happen to us.
They tried to stay as dry as they could, trying to keep at least the kids' clothing out of the water that was coming through. And you can see what a lot of people have done now that the sun is finally beginning to come out is take their sopping wet things and try to dry them off.
The so-called breakthrough agreement on Europe's migrant crisis is not about saving the most vulnerable of people. It's about protecting Europe from them. Human Rights Watch's Peter Buchart says it's as if what is happening here is disconnected from the war zones.
We need to connect these two crises and understand that these are the people fleeing from the Islamic State, from Assad's terror. Europe talks about human rights and about promoting human rights abroad, and now there's a crisis coming to Europe, and they close their borders.
The agreement, he says, is a slap in the face to those fleeing conflict. Europe has received over 1.5 million asylum requests in the past year. They say they can't handle the influx. The agreement, which still needs to be put to a vote in 10 days, would push the crisis outside of most of the European Union, to Greece and ultimately to Turkey. At this camp along the Greek side of the border with Macedonia, 13,000 people are waiting. Lines for food, a sandwich, last 2 hours. It's where we meet Isra and her sister, sporting necklaces given to them by a volunteer, a small act of kindness that has become a rarity these days, but one that at least helps them forget a little of what they're going through. I was very cold. I was shivering, Isra tells us. All the water came inside the tent. What will happen to them and the other refugees stranded along the way is unclear, and Amnesty International is calling this agreement a death blow to the right to seek asylum